What's going on, everybody? I'm going to show you a damage report of the Jeep after Tuttle Creek, June 2020. Let's dive into it. As you guys know, I ratchet strapped the axle forward so we can get home because I broke a centering pin or flag pin or whatever the hell you're used to calling it. I broke it. So this is what we did to fix it. We had that tiny ratchet strap going to the shackle back there, attached to that, to the axle right here, but I had it where this guy is. So that little ratchet right there, I don't know what brand or anything like that for it, but I'm definitely going to buy more because it survived going all the way across Tuttle, like in the middle of, if you know the area, it's three big, like if the parking lot's here, it goes down to a valley, back up to a tall hill or mound, and it goes back down to a valley. Then the back side of it is where the ledge is at, and we were in the middle, so we had to creepy crawl and baby this sucker all the way back, and that includes that ratchet strap where this one is. I didn't buy this one until afterwards we can get to Menards and actually buy a good ratchet. So that is why there's a new one on here compared to the video. But so that we drove 45 minutes all the way home to get this sucker home. Now, I'm going to replace that centering bolt or flag pin, but also you can see right there bent a U-bolt. So I'm just going to go ahead and heat that up and bend it back and not worry about it yet because I'm no need to replace it. But it's just something that also broke. And eventually you can see, and eventually right there you can see that broke a brake line. I don't know where exactly or anything yet. I just saw that. I knew their brakes were a little bit odd. I couldn't figure out why. It's because I have a leak, a pretty bad one at that. And so that's that. Anything else? No, I think that's a damage report. But we're gonna go ahead and fix it, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, now that we got it jacked up all nice and safe, where you guys at? There you are. I'm gonna start taking this apart, and I got some Deep Creep lubricant from Seafoam. I just tried this stuff. I think it works pretty good. I don't know if there's any difference though. I want to drench these because they're not just covered in grease, mud, and everything. They're rusty old shits. So, gonna let that soak for a while. Then I'm gonna hit it again here in a few minutes, right on the top, let it seep through. Probably gonna get a wire brush or something and start cleaning off the threads so they come off a lot easier. We'll go from there. I mean, it's just a waiting game now until figure out what size we need and just zip it down. Okay, so now that that's soaked for a while, we're not going to use 3/4 inch socket and breaker bar because I don't have an impact big enough for it. And we're just going to start finding a good place to start working them down. It's going to be a while, but once I get a few turns in and start loosening up some, it's going to be tension the whole time because there's no flag pin to hold the leaf spring together. So every time you loosen it, leaf springs go farther and farther apart, which is fine because this is a little bit safer because it's not is doing it little by little, and it's uncompressing the springs the farther you go. And so if you take it all down at once and you have something holding it together, like a flag pin or something like that, you don't have to worry about it. But when there's nothing in there and they can just go wherever, it's a bit safer doing it this way. So I'm going to start wrenching on that, and I'm going to then probably use the impact until I get it all the way down, and then we'll see what to do next. After very carefully getting the bolts off, or the nuts off rather, everything is out. And if we go up in there, you can see the flag pin or center bolt. And I'm gonna let everything cool down first, because it's pretty hot in there. Now that we're back under here, we got our flag pin, and I'm gonna show you the fun process of trying to put this sucker on. I mean, it's not too bad, but it just takes time and it's kind of annoying. There we go. So the old flag pin is stuck up in there still, and there's one hole, there's two. I think that's the broken one right there. Don't use your new one to try to get the old one out. Let me get some needle nose real quick, and we'll try to dig those out. Is that mud? I don't know what's that right there. That was just mud. I don't see the bottom end, but top end is still in here. Oh, there it goes. Yep, look at that. That's what it was right there. Well, now we get to see how far that off. That's where that hole is right here, where that's going in. That's where all that's supposed to be. All of the axle. Definitely didn't get the best gas mileage coming home because of it, I can tell you that. Okay, now it's feeding all of it together. Oh. Yeah, there. And then there are little bushings that go on this one that comes off. It's this little guy right here. It's just a piece of plastic, basically, that's like a pad of some sort. And then it goes on right there, just like so. Then the bottom leaf, just like that. And just push them together and thread that on real quick just to hold it on. We can only go so far because I do have deep sockets, but it doesn't make that big of a difference when the bolt needs to be cut in order to fit everything. Alright, now that you got your clamp and you got your nut threaded up by hand all the way, as far as it'll go anyway, we're going to use a sawzall to cut it. You can use anything to cut it, but this is what I got, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay, I went ahead and cinched it down, cut it off right there. It's a little closer than I wanted it to, but I think it'll work. There's no problem here with that. But got a pair of vice grips, grabbed onto the actual top, and then let that sucker cinch down. And now everything's in line, and everything is looking good. Next problem to go about is I gotta take the axle off of the jack, and then I gotta try to roll the front end, or not the front end, sorry, the axle forward to get in line with this hole for the pin. You can do this many ways. I've seen people just jack it up, take off the wheel, and use it for a jack to slide it all the way forward as far as I need to go. but because of how far the distance is up and down, I think I'm going to try to put the U-bolts on first and try to cinch it down a little closer, or a variance of both, most likely. So I'll figure something out and I'll let you guys know what I came up with. Okay, I got the axle completely jacked up off of this side. Got a ratchet strap all the way across to my dad's truck. This heavy duty ratchet, and I'm gonna ratchet it. And the idea is to pivot it because the weight on the passenger or driver's side rear, that is gonna pivot while the other side comes around and lines up close enough where we can start getting everything together. And then because of the jack, should help it slide farther and easier and less tension on the ratchet strap. Okay, so it actually worked out really well. And when I let off the jack, it just sat down like it's supposed to. I'm gonna leave the tension on until I get the U-bolts on, but I think that'll work out great. I'm gonna start putting everything and get ready together. I got grade 8 bolts, or nuts for the bolts, and washers too. Man, they're really pricey about this stuff, ain't they? Now that I got those out, I'm gonna start grinding all of this off with a wire brush. Get all cleaned and do the other one, and then go to the store and get some different nuts for it. So everything can be a lot better to get off later, because I'm sure I'm gonna break it again. Okay, now I got the spacer all out, and I'm gonna grind that off. I got the U-bolts in place. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Not necessarily because I need to, but kind of want to, because everything is kind of you could say kind of gross. But if you look closely, I have a slight dilemma. The spring hangs a little bit lower than the actual shackles, or not shackles. I'm sorry. U-bolts. So I'll just get the jack real quick and try to get as close to it as possible, but I still need room to put the spacer on there. And you want this part facing down so it makes everything flush. And if I remember correctly, oh, skin's caught. There we go. Oh my gosh, that was close. Oh shit. Ouch. Gotta squeeze them a little bit to get everything in there. Okay, so if you can see, I got this worm gear galvanized, basically like dryer vent clamp, and I got it around the U-bolt. And I tighten it together, and it squeezes the U-bolt closer together so it can fit the holes at the bottom, because the bolt holes are closer together than the bolts are together. So basically the bolts are farther apart than the holes are together. Here's a better angle. More or less what it is. And I got it all on. Okay, everything is on there. Once I use the impact to get the cinch it down as far as I can go until the socket wasn't moving so much. Always get a breaker bar or a ratchet and do it by hand, because I threaded it on maybe another 6 turns a piece after using the impact, and I know those are on there. Those aren't coming off anytime soon. But thanks for watching. That was my breakage after the Tuttle adventure. I'll see you guys next time.